Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Miniart. And this kit might be familiar for some of you because it's a German tractor. This time we get a version with a roof. As you can see, it's a D8506, but note also the scale of this kit. It's a 1/24 scale, so it might be interesting for all fans of the car models. So in case you would like to place a tractor close to your supercar, this might be a perfect option. And of course, jokes aside, it might be also a good choice for modelers who would like to have a bigger parts due to their problems with eyesight or maybe fingers coordination. It happens with everybody, so there is no, let's say, surprise that Miniart decided to go in a bit more bigger size and a bit more detailed model kit. So we have a commercial sample here, and as you can see, the kit number is 24010. Here you can see comparison with my hand. I would say box is relatively the same as what we saw in 135 scale release. We have quite nice box art here. Next, on the side here, you'll find also some safety tips and also address of the manufacturer. Also the barcode and QR code are here. While on the opposite side we have small mention that decals are printed in cartograph, and here you can see 3 marking options which are supplied with this kit. But obviously you're not limited only to them, but well, they are also quite colorful, I would say. This is a top opening box, and here's what we have inside. All parts are sealed together into one plastic bag, so we will be checking them one by one, and then we will see also the assembly manual. Basically typical structure of our video review, so it will be interesting to see what this plastic has to offer. And well, it's easy to say the main difference here, it's a roof. So while previous versions were not offering such, let's say, option for the tractor, here we get it out of the box. And well, I would suggest we start with the road wheels. So with road wheels we have quite an interesting situation because, well, this kit features plastic road wheels just like the 135 scale counterpart. So here I would say this is actually an advantage of this kit. So for example, these are the middle section for the tires. As you can see, you should install tire walls from both sides. But do not worry about such design. It is actually quite smart solution which will provide you with a more convincing result. And in my opinion, such parts should be easy to assemble. So there is nothing to be worried about. Next, if you wonder how the tire walls look like, I will show you the sprue CD. So those are absolutely identical sprues, and here we have these tire walls from both sides. As you can see, we have some features out of the box, which is quite impressive for the plastic parts. Some manufacturers actually skip on this feature, but not here, and this is really great because in 1/24 scale it will be noticeable, and that's why it's a really good opportunity to have them out of the box and then just to bring them out with help of weathering, or maybe just by shading them, or any other let's say method you prefer to use in such cases. Next we continue with the clear parts, so I will move the sprues aside. Clear sprue is packed into a separate plastic bag with decals. Molding quality looks fine, but as usual Miniart does not provide any masks here, so you will have to cut them with your own hands and tools. While next here we have the decal sheet. As you remember, it comes from cartograph, so we shouldn't be worried about any printing quality issues. And we have all the necessary symbols for 3 markings, as you remember. But of course you can find something different in case you have some suitable reference materials. Next we continue with the sprue EA. So here I will have to zoom out a bit so that you can see the whole sprue, but the overall idea or the parts design is pretty much the same as what we saw in the initial release. So as you can see, for example, this rear fender is molded together with a subframe, and in my opinion this is really clever design which will speed up the assembly process and also make it easier to get those parts together. So definitely a good thing, and you can see also here a lot of guiding elements which will help you with alignment. So this is a well thought parts division, and it actually works together. So in my opinion this is a really good product from Miniart. Next we continue with the sprue E. So what I was looking is the brakes here, because they are also nicely detailed. If I zoom in, you can check the whole sprue, but I would like to zoom in even closer so that you can take a look at those brakes. So they look really great. And the only question is how to show these features on the finished model, because obviously they will not be that easy to see, especially behind the road wheel. Here you can check also the sprue from the opposite side. So this top cowling panel is molded as a single piece part, which is a great advantage as well, because you won't have any unnecessary gaps and seams in such visible area. Next, we continue with the front wheels, and this one is also quite interesting. So if I zoom in here, you can see that we have two sprues for these parts, and if I bring it closer, you can notice that we have some pre-molded features on the tire walls, which is really great. And yes, one wheel should be actually glued out of those 5 parts, and this is quite smart design again, because here we have these edges which will be position the parts against each other, and if I flip it over here, we also have the guiding pins. So quite a tricky design, which will look good in the finished state. Next, we continue with the roof parts. So we can say this one is specific for today's version, because here we have the windscreen, roof, and also special supports which will be placed on the tractor. Of course, it's great to have the roof as a one-piece part. I do not see any push marks inside, by the way, so this is also quite nice. And we have the interior structure nicely copied, so it's not like because this section will not be visible and Miniart decided to skip on it. Next, we continue with the sprue CB. So here we have some of the suspension parts. As you can see, it's supplied in 2 pieces. I would say it's something what will be inside the tractor. Next, we continue with the sprue DB. So here we have the parts for the drivetrain. As you can see, everything looks great. This one-piece drum is actually, again, a good thing, which shows what can be achieved with the modern technologies. And of course the driver's seat, which is here, and as you can see, it has throughout holes, so you don't have to drill anything additionally. Next, we continue with the last gray plastic sprue, so that's the sprue A, and here I will have to zoom out a bit. So we have the parts for the chassis, we also have some parts for the bonnet, we also have a lot of pre-molded features. So for example, if I zoom in here for the front grille, you can see that we have the manufacturer logo actually pre-molded. And again, if we flip it over here, we have generous position pins or elements, so it will be definitely easy to get those things together. And last but not the least is this small assembly manual. So here I will have closed the lenses a bit. So that's a typical Miniart brochure, even though it is printed in a smaller format, as you can see, and it is printed in color. So next we continue with the parts map, colors chart. Assembly process starts with the chassis. So here you have to combine these large parts together, but this is not a difficult thing. And by the way, we do not have the PE parts here, so some modelers will be actually happy to hear this, because I know that some modelers are, let's say, not that good with the PE parts due to their skills and maybe also age, so that's why it's more preferable for them to work with the plastic parts. So here we continue with the bonnet. Note that the engine is not inside, so it's just assembled as a separate box and then placed on the main chassis. Next, we continue with the interior floor. So here you have a huge space for some additional weathering and details, because as you can see, it's something what will be visible on the finished model. It's also interior compartment which gets heavily beaten and weathered, so that's why it's a good idea to spend some time here. Next, we continue with the subframe, then we install the wheel fenders. Here we assemble the wheels. By the way, you can see how they are getting together, and of course they are placed on the wheel axles. Here we continue with more suspension parts. This is the step where we actually get the wheels and also front fenders in place. Then we also install the windscreen. And here you can see the steering wheel and some final touches in form of the screen wipers, for example. First marking option comes in a blue color. Next, we continue with a gray tractor, green tractor, and also here we have the red tractor. So actually there are 4 markings, even though box was showing 3. And in my opinion, this is a decent release in a popular scale. So in case you would like to have your own tractor in 1/24 scale, this is definitely a nice choice to consider. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion. Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.